I want to share with you this epic two-part series about the life and times, the relationship and the marriage of Rex and Sherry Rust, two incredible people that I had the great honor and privilege to be able to serve in ministry. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly. There's an epic journey of highs and lows in the in-between. So much that you will also be able to connect with in their journey and in their lives. But most importantly, you'll see an unbelievable love of Jesus, the faithfulness of Jesus, and covered by His grace. This is the life, the story, and the journey of Rex and Sherry Rust.
We went to the emergency room, really had no concept what was coming. And when they come in and they throw out the C word, I mean, it's just like, and they left the room.
We're like, wow, they got the wrong room. That's not your scan.
It's just like, did that just happen? Was that serious? Gosh, I never really thought about that.
Life before me?
Yeah. I can't even think back that far. I can't even imagine life without you.
Oh, okay. Life before Rex. So I was living in Richmond, Virginia, and hadn't had very much success in the relationship arena. Had kind of a bitter taste in my mouth from it, so was not looking for a relationship, not interested. And then you came along.
The seas parted. angelic voices from above.
My friend and his wife played matchmaker. So he showed him my real estate business card and kind of set us up. And
thank goodness it was a blind date. It wasn't, you didn't consider a date, it was a blind date for you. But I had seen Sherry's real estate business card and I was like, I think I'll take a little time to meet her. She looks like she has a wonderful personality.
Yeah, it was great. It's been a long time ago.
February 24th at 6:32 p.m.
It?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, life before him feels like just a whole different lifetime to me. And I can't really imagine now what it really was like on a day-to-day basis because you changed everything.
It'll be 23 years this February.
Jeez.
And just thinking about it, I had,
insane.
Born and raised in a smaller town in Missouri. Just very ambitious, confident, had a lot of success in almost most things that I had participated in. Went off to a boarding school and then went to Harvard and then went to Wall Street and into private equity and really probably a lot full of myself during those stages in life. So much of my identity was on success and accomplishment. I'm not typically intimidated by anyone. I can talk to anybody, but I remember when we met, I was just like blown away. I was blown away. I really had a tough time talking around her. I wasn't arrogant, but I was confident, and so it was.
And I like that.
Yeah, and we dated for 7 years. I can't say it was necessarily a healthy relationship. We loved being together.
It definitely wasn't a healthy relationship. We both had our baggage.
And we're like, we need to figure this out. We didn't get serious. And we had a pretty good faith together. We went to church together. We had good faith conversations, but it definitely wasn't the priority or the core foundation of our relationship.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the issues, stem from. And so we finally got to the point where we need to either figure this out, we're going to move forward with a relationship, or we need to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
We went to the pastor at our church. We talked to him about it, and he said, well, if you are going to be seriously considering getting married, and for me to marry you, you have to go through a premarital counseling. And so we engaged in that process, and it was supposed to be a 6-session counseling. It's called Prepare and Enrich. And literally it took us a year and a half of 2 counselors, both a man and a woman, oftentimes twice a week, oftentimes 2 hours per session, which many times started off with Sherry and I beginning the counseling sessions together, and then after like 5 minutes, I found that it was just me in the counseling session. So
I had a tendency of like not knowing how to process my emotions and getting up and walking out. Same thing in restaurants when we were on dates. If he like really upset me, I'd just leave.
So I mean, we had a lot of issues, and
Yeah.
so but we're so fortunate looking back at it is how much we covered, how much
my
we
gosh.
put out there. There was any topics we didn't
We-
shy away from.
Yeah, it was all out there. But the first time we met with them, we had it's like a data dump, and we had to do this questionnaire, right?
Yeah.
And so we both went to our little cubicles or offices and each did the questionnaire. And
We went to our sides of the ring.
and
Round number
later
2.
on, years later, the counselors told us, after we evaluated the questionnaires that each of you completed, we came to the conclusion that you guys were the first couple that we almost didn't take because we didn't feel we could help you. And these are Christian counselors, and for them to say that, it wasn't really surprising because we knew we were in a bad place. We had so many different issues. It was just crazy. But for them to tell us that after, which shows how great God is and how he works and has worked in this relationship, because if someone had told us then that we would be where we are now, we would have thought they were out of their mind.
I mean, it's
crazy.
amazing.
It's like there's no way that could happen.
I tell people it's amazing when you look at how God chooses, Paul in the Bible.
broken.
That here's a guy that persecutes Christians, and he ends up writing, half of the New Testament,
Right.
and people be like, "Oh, yeah, that's a great choice there."
That's what God
but
does.
that's if someone would have looked at our relationship back then and said that we'd be where we are today, or that we'd be up in front of a marriage class, and I won't say teaching, I'd say we just facilitated. And we're blessed that we're very transparent, and we just kind of share our story, and it's amazing how in a tough place we were, and how he refined us, and
It
how
was
God
incredible.
refines you through the fire.
Because of that, we've always been huge advocates of counseling. I mean, it saved our relationship. God, of course, ultimately saved our relationship, but he guided us to where we needed to be. And he found the right Christian counselors for our issues, which was a wide range of things. We had extremely different upbringings, different family dynamics. I had a child, been married before, and all of this, I didn't know how to communicate.
Yeah, well, we had so many, we're just opposite in so many different ways. Introvert, extrovert.
Yes, and that was the problem.
You know,
It was just so
and
many.
communication and conflict resolution, and our attitude and approach to just so many different things. And but it was so where it put us. Even though we got to a point after a year and a half of counseling, they were saying, "Oh, hey, let's move forward with this." It's not to say that it was rainbows and
Man, that first year.
The first year was tough.
I was like, what have we done? I remember calling my mom. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, this isn't good. We both. I mean, we planned a wedding. We got married. We were building a house. All of this at the same time. And granted, we were still going to counseling a lot. And it was just really, really, really hard.